Hey y'all, it's Rosie, and I'm here with another revelation. And this revelation is an encouragement that just because you aren't where you think you should be doesn't mean you don't need to be where God told you to be. Again, just because you are not where you think you should be doesn't mean that you shouldn't be where God told you to be. And what I mean by that is sometimes we discount ourselves a lot. We think that before we apply for the promotion, before we start the business, before we reach out to someone, as we feel led to do, we have to get our ducks in a row. We have to take more classes. We have to join this seminar. We have to pray and meditate and do all of this self healing. But those are just excuses. Those are just delaying the things that God told us to do. The Bible never says that God only calls those that are qualified. Actually, when we look at the Bible, we see that he qualifies those that he called. Think about it. Paul was murdering Christians and became an apostle. Moses had a speech impediment, but had to tell Pharaoh, "Let my people go." There are so many examples of people who were not where they thought they should be, but God saw different. God knew what he put on the inside of them. And so I want to encourage you today that just because you aren't where you think you should be doesn't mean you can't be where God told you to be. Because if God told you to do something, he's already put everything in you that you need for that time. God never gives us something before time. If anything, he gives us grace because we are the ones that make excuses of why we can't do what he told us to do. But I want to encourage you. Stop making excuses. Just do it. Remember, we do things uncomfortable. We do things expediently when God tells us to do. Because if we wait until we think we are where we should be, we might miss our moment. And remember, as Christians, this life is so much bigger than us. Our assignments, the thing God tells us to do, it's never just for us. Someone is waiting on your obedience. Don't let them wait any longer. Just because you aren't where you think you should be doesn't mean you shouldn't be where God told you to be. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't do what God told you to do. I pray that this encouraged you, and I pray that you stop making excuses and do it uncomfortable, that you do it even though you don't think you're ready, because God wouldn't have told you to do it if he didn't think you were ready. Be blessed.